Most people, when they think about MrBeast, think about generosity, millions of subscribers, money, and success. And that is not wrong. But there's a detail that keeps getting skipped. A detail that changes everything you think about that success story and its real cost. Jimmy Donaldson didn't build a charity YouTube channel. He built a machine. And the machine runs on something that has nothing to do with kindness. This is MrBeast, the machine that eats itself. 1,000 people given cataract surgery, a procedure that removes a cloudy lens from the eye to restore vision. 100 wells built across Africa. 20 million trees planted. Jimmy Donaldson has scaled charitable giving to a level previously reserved for massive global foundations. Yet for every act of extreme generosity, he receives thousands of death threats. Academics publish papers accusing him of creating poverty porn, media that exploits the poor to generate sympathy and clicks. Donaldson admits his mental health is a secondary concern. In interviews, he describes his daily existence as living like a zoo animal on hard mode. He believes his willingness to endure chronic, severe misery is his ultimate competitive advantage. If he stopped to rest, take weekends off, or enjoy his millions, he would lose his edge against other creators. To decode how one 26-year-old built an engine capable of infinite charity, we have to look inside the brutal, isolating psychological sacrifices required to keep that engine running. In 2017, a teenager in Greenville, North Carolina, landed his first brand sponsorship for $10,000. Instead of keeping it for himself, he handed the entire sum to a homeless man and filmed the reaction. That single video laid the groundwork for a massive economic engine. Traditional charities rely on soliciting donations from the public. This model relies entirely on sheer viewership. This chart visualizes a concept media scholars call the audience commodity. It shows how viewer attention converts into sponsor dollars and AdSense, the revenue YouTube pays creators for running advertisements. Those dollars fund extreme charity stunts, which then generate even more viewer attention. The system is completely transparent. Viewers are explicitly told that the simple act of watching the video is what pays for the next charitable stunt. It costs the audience nothing at all, yet produces massive capital. Psychologists refer to this as the licensing effect. When people watch someone else do a good deed, it satisfies their own moral quota. They feel they've contributed to a solution, making them less likely to make actual sacrifices or demand systemic political change to fix the root problem. By engineering a system where passive scrolling directly funds massive global aid, human empathy has been successfully and efficiently monetized. Running an engine this scale requires a grueling operational pace. Days routinely stretch past 16 hours, demanding agonizing mental gear shifting between managing content, merchandise, and a massive chocolate company. A leaked internal handbook reveals the strict corporate culture demanding this grueling pace. The text divides employees into two categories: obsessive A players doing whatever it takes, and C players labeled poisonous. The handbook literally mandates no doesn't mean no, demanding dedication matching his extreme obsession. That environment has predictably fractured. Former employees have filed class action lawsuits alleging a toxic workplace, forced sleep deprivation, and hazardous safety conditions on massive production sets. Despite generating billions in revenue, Donaldson claims to keep less than $1 million in his personal bank account. Every other dollar is compulsively poured back into making the next video bigger than the last. Maintaining this enormous scale of charity requires commodifying the audience, the well-being of the crew, and ultimately the humanity of the creator himself. Critics argue that these hyper-edited, grandiose gestures mask the root causes of systemic poverty. When a wealthy individual swoops in to solve a crisis on camera, it highlights institutional failures without actually fixing the systems that caused the suffering in the first place. This specific backlash takes a heavy psychological toll. Donaldson has noted the irony of receiving intense hatred for doing objectively good things, pointing out that he would face far less criticism if he simply bought a mansion and hoarded his wealth. This graph illustrates the inescapable trap of the YouTube algorithm. The blue line represents video scale and cost, which must continuously escalate to hold viewer attention. The red line represents his declining mental health. Because the charity relies entirely on escalating viewership, he cannot stop or slow down without the funding collapsing entirely. Each video must outperform the last. The stunts become perpetually larger and vastly expensive, turning the creator into a prisoner of his own compounding success. He is acutely aware of this dynamic. In interviews, he admits that the machine makes him consistently miserable, yet he remains unable to turn it off. Jimmy Donaldson operates as a mirror reflecting a broken society. We have outsourced basic humanitarian duties to a trapped 26-year-old, building a flawless machine to save the world, while leaving no mechanism to save its creator. The question worth sitting with is this: what are we asking of the people we put on pedestals? And would we accept those same terms for ourselves? Success has its cost, but is it a price worth paying? That's the conversation worth having. The comments section is a good place to start. And if you want more stories like this one, the Untold story is where we keep pulling on these threads. Subscribe. Because the questions that matter don't go away just because we stop asking them.